Hello, everybody. It's me, Pat. I'm back again. It's late. I'm really sorry. My fault. I went to see my girlfriend in Bristol for the weekend. That was really nice, but it meant I couldn't talk comics with you guys. But I'm back. It's Monday, so it means you haven't got your new books yet, so I can still talk about last week's stuff. Only 4 books this week anyway, so it's going to be a slightly shorter one. I do want to show you what I picked up in Bristol though, but I'll show you that at the end. So first of all, comics. Only got one ND this week. That's Star Wars Dawn of the Jedi, part 4 of 5 of the Force War mini. This is published by Dark Horse, and it's written by John Ostrander with art by Jan de Sima. It's an artist I've not seen or anything else. I've seen John Ostrander on another Aquaman issue, another comic I pick up that he has done some work on. But basically, The Dawn of the Jedi is a series set 40,000 years before A New Hope, and it's basically the origins of the Jedi and the origins of the good side of the Force and the bad side of the Force and the living Force and all that. And it's really interesting. We've got really interesting characters. Basically, this third volume, which would be issue 14 of The Dawn of the Jedi, you finally got the culmination of the good Jedi who are on the planet Tython, against the evil Rakatan Empire, who are alien beings. They look quite cool. If you've played Knights of the Old Republic, you'll know who the Rakatan are. They are that alien species there. I'm a big Star Wars buff, like nerd. I love Star Wars. But if you haven't played the Knights of the Old Republic games, go out and play those because they're brilliant. But this does kind of inform a bit of that. Basically, the Rakatan are an alien that they feed off the dark side of the Force, so they need to kill off the good side, and that releases hate, which they then absorb to power their ships, it powers their weapons, powers everything. And we finally got the big throwdown between, it's literally been 14 issues in the making, between the good Jedi and the evil Rakatan. We've got a few betrayals in here, which is really good. And then an interesting twist towards the end for our one of our main characters, a guy called Bogon Locke, I think his name is something Locke. He's this guy here. He, you thought was a villain, might not be so much a villain. We've got some really badass lightsaber fight scenes. It's a good book, not for everybody. I picked it up after dropping the Brian Wood Star Wars, just because, this one isn't so set in stone, you don't know what's going to happen at the end. Whereas with Brian Wood, by the time their run's going to be over, nothing's going to have changed because it's just going to lead on to Empire Strikes Back. Whereas this, really good. If you can, get the first 2 trades. It was Star Wars Dawn of the Jedi Force Storm, which was volume 1, that collects issues 1 to 5. It might even collect the 0 issue, I'm not sure. And then the second one is Dawn of the Jedi Prisoner of Bogan, which is another 5-part series. Next month we've got the finale of this one. I'm really looking forward to it. Really good Star Wars book. Put that to one side. Next, I've gone to my one Marvel book, which was The Punisher, issue 2. Written by Nathan Edmondson and art by Mitch Gerads. I love these covers, by the way. These are really sweet covers. I really hope they stay with this style because it's very eye-catching. I really like it. The art inside as well, it's not going to be for everyone. It seems to be the thing that Marvel are doing. They're putting out these different style books. The Hawkeyes with David Aja. We've got, Daredevil with Sam Neill. We've got, Pulido on She-Hulk, and I don't know the artist on Superior Foes, but that sort of style, I'd say it's very similar to the style in this, and I really like it. I think it's brilliant. We've got basically the Punisher. He makes a new friend in this issue. I'm not going to spoil who it is because, the Punisher doesn't make friends too often. I'll give you a clue. It's not a human being, because he can't make friends with humans. He's the Punisher. But this new volume is a bit more of a light-hearted tone on Punisher. Not light-hearted, but, we had the Greg Rucka run, which was really intense. And then you've got this one, which just seems to be not laid back, because it's not. It's still pretty intense. But you know, we've got the Punisher. He's sitting in cafes. He can still talk to people. He's talking to a police officer. You know, he's not just out there. Like, he is just out there to do all the killing, obviously. They've got the continuation of the Dos Sols gang, who are trying to smuggle a weapon from Mexico to the United States. And you find out that's the Punisher's reason for moving, like switching coasts. He wants to track down this weapon, which is being used by the Dos Sols. And we got a reveal of what the weapon is at the end. Not going to spoil that one. But it is a being, a person, rather than you know, an actual weapon. The only thing in this issue which kind of threw me a little bit was the fact that, you know, here we've got, on these pages here, we've got the Punisher wearing a balaclava. And I thought the whole thing about Punisher was he didn't mind people knowing who he was. You know, he's Frank Castle. He's protecting the innocent, but he doesn't care if people know who he is. But, you know, it might work because I think he's not trying to hide his identity so much. I think he's just trying to protect this one police officer who seems to have a thing for. Basically, AIM seemed to be working with the Dos Sols gang, and that seems to be where this weapon has come from. It's AIM. I'm really enjoying this new Punisher. If you haven't picked it up, I would definitely give it a go. It's only 2 issues in. It's going on to be a monthly now. I think we had 2 issues in a month, and now it's going to go back to being a monthly, which I don't mind. I like the fact that they give you a month where they give you 2 to give you a taste of what the book's going to be like. I'm definitely sold on it. I wouldn't be dropping it anyway, because I do like the Punisher. It would have to be pretty bad for me not to pick it up. What else do I want to say about it? I don't think there's anything else. I just want to say I really enjoyed it. I like the reveal of the character at the end, and I like the art. What more can you ask for in a comic book? Nothing. That's what. And then finally, we've got 2 DC books this week. Both really good. I've got to admit, this week was a really good week of comics. I don't really do pick of the weeks, but if I did, it would be really tough. Oh, who am I kidding? It wouldn't be tough. Pick of the week would be Wonder Woman, but I'm not going to talk about that yet. I want to talk about Justice League first. You know, save the best till last. I like how I whetted your appetite there. Yeah, Justice League, Metal Men, really good book. Ivan Rice. Oh, I remember reading some of the Aquaman, earlier Aquaman from New 52, and I was thinking, wow, he's a really, really good artist. I really like his style. Basically, we've got the scientist. I can't remember his name. Just bear with me 2 seconds. Dr. Magnus, Cyborg 2.0. He is going to Magnus. He's asking for help because we saw Platinum a couple of issues ago before Forever Evil, maybe even before Trinity War. She is one of the Metal Men created by Dr. Magnus, who are basically androids who they each represent a different metal. So we've got Platinum. I think that was Iron. We've got tin, gold, oh no, that was tin, steel, and Mercury. Mercury's funny, I really like Mercury. I think we could definitely do see more of the Metal Men just for more Mercury. I think it was Mercury and gold banter that I really enjoyed. But it's basically the origin story of the Metal Men. It does take a bit away from Forever Evil again, but if it was this good, I'm not going to complain so much, because I really did enjoy this issue. I think Justice League's been stronger than JLA on every level during Forever Evil. I mean, at least stuff's been happening in this book, and I really hope to see more of the Metal Men. Basically, it was all about how the whole issue is basically a flashback before Forever Evil, before everything happened here, and Dr. Magnus explaining to Cyborg how you can't use the Metal Men to take down the crime syndicate, simply because, you know, they don't take orders, and they're too human in that sense that they just want to protect people, and Dr. Magnus feels bad putting them in harm's way. But then Cyborg is like, well, it's not your choice. They are, you know, they're now sentient beings. They can make their own decisions, and that's sort of how it ends with That's sort of how it ends because the Metal Men come up with this rule that their rule number one is they must save whoever they can, even if that means sacrificing themselves. And you do see that in this issue. They do make a big sacrifice in the flashback. You realise, because, you know, they're Metal Men, it's not the end of them. They can just reform. And I like that about them. Gold is the leader of the group. He thinks he's the leader because, you know, he's the best metal. And they've got Platinum, who we've already seen in the JLA, is a bit quirky. I quite like it. Mercury's just a smart mouth. I think he's definitely my favourite of the Metal Men. We've got Tin, who's really small, and he's like, oh, is it really worth me being here? You know, got all these other great metals. What do I have to give, you know? And then we got, I can't remember, I think it's Iron and Steel. I can't remember which way round there. I think the big one is Iron. He's a big brute, lots of shield, and I really like. And we've got Iron, who's muscle, you know, straight out muscle. Really good book. I've got to admit, if you're not picking up Justice League, you're not going to pick it up on this issue, just because you'd be missing out on quite a lot of the Forever Evil stuff. But if you do like the Metal Men, I'm not sure if they've been around before, so like I said, I'm quite new to comics, just in the New 52, so I don't know if they've been around before. If they have, just drop me a little comment, tell me what they are, tell me what they were, sorry, pre-52. But anyway, I've really enjoyed it. I hope we see some more Metal Men. You never know, I might spin out a Cyborg in the Metal Men series. That would be quite cool, I think maybe on the same lines as like Avengers AI, but, you know, DC style. I'm not really sure what that book's about, but it has all the robot stuff, so it'd be similar in that sense. And then, simply the best book of the week, probably the best series of comics, tied between Green Arrow, East of West, and this book. Wonder Woman, Brian Azzarello, Cliff Chiang. Cliff Chiang's art is stunning as usual. Absolutely brilliant. I know I said last week that Tony S. Daniels does a brilliant Wonder Woman. You know, Cliff Chiang does, if not as good, maybe better, I'm not sure. It's just his art style. I really like it. It's really good. We've got some brilliant panels here of the Minotaur beating up, I can never pronounce his name. Was it Dionysus? Man, I feel really dumb. Dionysus. He's basically one of the gods who Hermes, Wonder Woman, and Artemis are tracking down because they know that Dionysus has got Zola and the baby, and then we've got the firstborn's sister. I can't remember her name. She's the one with the metal throat. Basically, she's got the Minotaur, and she is trying to not kill Dionysus, but she needs to capture a god so that she can enter Olympus, because that's the only way you can enter Olympus, is by being granted permission by a god. And she thinks that Dionysus is the god to pick, you know, weaker than all the others. The Minotaur, obviously, everything is connected. You know, we've got the Zero issue with the Minotaur that's connected to this. It's had a bit of a costume change, you know, shaved a bit and everything, but it still looks badass. See if I can load a picture. Load it up. Why do I keep saying load it up? It's a comic book. Here we go. I think that one's a really nice panel there. And then how it ends, I'm just going to put it out right now. We've got, basically, that's one half of the story. The second half of the story is the firstborn basically having a massive throwdown with Apollo on Mount Olympus. You know, whoever wins is going to have control of Olympus. And I know you could probably guess what's going to happen, but the firstborn absolutely just takes everything Apollo's got. Apollo's like, I can't do any more, so explosion. He sacrifices himself. We think, I don't know, speculation, but I'm pretty sure it says, because we've had a few issues of, you know, a god must die and whatnot. Basically, we've got all these foreboding. It's very foreboding. It's such a clever book. We've got everything being connected from, you know, issue 1 to issue 28, from issue 0, everything just entwined. There is no good jumping on point other than issue 1. Pick up the trades, see if you can track down the singles. I read a really great interview with I think it was on CBR. It might be on Newsarama. I'm not sure. It was one of those two. It was basically interviewing Brian Azzarello and Cliff Chang. And unfortunately, this is going into the last arc of this story, so it'll probably be ending about issue 34, issue 35, I reckon. We'll probably get a new writer on then. Big boots to fill. Big boots to fill. I've loved this arc. I've loved this book from the beginning. It's been absolutely great. I didn't know what to expect, and what I got was so much more than, I could have hoped for. I just wish Cliff Chang did more, did more of the artwork. So we only get him every other issue sort of thing, maybe not even that. But yeah, this is how it, it's just brilliant art. I mean, just look, explosions. It's great. It's great. We're going to see who comes out of it on top on Mount Olympus next issue. I think Wednesday Serial, Matt, check out his channel, because he definitely talks about Wonder Woman in a lot more depth than I can, unfortunately. I mean, I like to say how pretty it looks, obviously, and how good the writing is, but he just seems to take it on a higher level. So yeah, check out his channel if you want to see some more on Wonder Woman. Just other comic book related pickups I got. Thor 2, The Dark World on Blu-ray. I'll be watching that one tonight. And I also got Justice League War on Blu-ray. Got that from America, because unfortunately over here in the UK we do not get these very often. I really enjoy them. I've got not most of them, I've got quite a lot of them. And then when I was in Bristol, I went to a couple of shops, Excelsior Comics and Forbidden Planet, because my girlfriend lives just around the corner from Forbidden Planet, and the coach station is quite near Excelsior Comics, so just went in those, and I got a couple of trades. That's quite a few. That's my cat's tail. Hello. Great. I hope you like cats, because I like cats. Picked up I, Vampire Volume 3, Wave of Mutilation. We got Joshua Helfialkov, Angelo Sorrentino, Fernando Blanco. I've got these in singles. It's just, of all the runs that I have finished runs, this is by far my favourite, and it's probably one of my favourite comic book series in a long time. I just wanted a version. Now I've got all 3 volumes in trade. I can read it whenever I want without having to dig out and damage the singles. I just wish this went on for a bit longer. You know how good it is. Check it out if you haven't already. And then I also got the first 4 volumes of American Vampire, Scott Snyder and Raphael Albuquerque, with Stephen King on Volume 1. And what was it? An artist who I am really a big fan of. We've got Sean Murphy. He does a 5-part mini here. I mean, I'm such a big fan of his work. I've only seen him on this and The Wake, but his style is so right up my street. Sorry, I have already, on the coach journey back and at my girlfriend's house, read the first 3 volumes of these. So that was a volume a day. They're just incredible. It's a really great series. I love it. Dealing with Skinner Sweet. He's the first American vampire. He's the first vampire created in America. He's got slightly different powers. There's all these different species of vampire. I think definitely Volume 3 is my favourite so far. Especially that 5-part mini, Survival of the Fittest. It was great. Really good book. I might do a review on them. I'm not sure yet. It depends if you guys want to see it, really. If you do, I'll do one. If you don't, I won't. I want to start reading this one tonight. This is Volume 4. It seems to be another artist, Geordie Burnett. I don't know who that is. But, I can't wait to read it. I also picked up Volume 1 of 5 Ghosts. Frank J. Barbier with Chris Mooneyman on art. Ghost Critic, massive fan of 5 Ghosts. There's a few other reviewers as well who read it, and they say it's really great, but Ghost Critic really pushes it. I won't pick it up in singles, unfortunately. I've just got too much on my pull already. but I will check it out in trade. I love the Image trades anyway. I think they're such good value for money. I flicked through it. I'm really looking forward to it. I really like the Ben Templesmith variants, actually. But anyway, yeah, I can't wait to read that book. It looks really good. So that's it. That's all the comic stuff for this week. And guess what? It's under half an hour, which, considering I only had 4 books, is pretty terrifying that I've taken 20 minutes of your life to review 4 books. But, you know, thank you for staying with me this long. Now, I'm not going to promise a video on time this week, because it seems every time I do that, I break your promise. And I don't want to do that to you guys, because it pains me as well as you to have to break a promise like that. But anyway, that's all I've got to say. I want to say, have a great week. I hope you all had a fabulous weekend. I watched the rugby. Go England. That was a brilliant game. Well, the second half was anyway. And I really hope the comics are as good as they were this week. Last week. This week. Makes sense. Yeah. Had a long weekend. Until next time. Toodles.